Hey there, guys. We've got news for Global on April 25th, and this week we've got the Xenogears event, but there's no event. Yes, so it's a banner, and that is it for the week. It seems that all the rest of the Xenogears stuff, at least for this week, is currently missing. So we've got Xenogears with steel wings of Bonds Maria. That's a weird name. And then Dunefaring King Bart. Basically Maria and Bart. Yep, so the, Graph Neovision's Awakening Plus is gone. The Raid is gone. The Crown Stage is gone. All the other Xenogear unit upgrades are gone. Maybe they're coming later. Who knows? But they're not here this week. Bart is being upgraded, though, so that's kind of nice. We'll talk about that in a second. So as far as the banner goes, there it is. No perks for pulling on it, no card, no armory ticket, etc. The raid up banners are the non-upgraded old Xenogears units, and as usual, it's very frustrating to me when they skip unit upgrades. These were all supposed to get upgraded, crowns, etc. Graph even got a Neovisions Plus Awakening. All of this came out with Maria and Bart, in Japan, but we don't get that kind of stuff on Global. We don't get cool things. So there you go. Maria is pretty much untouched, exactly as she is from JP. And as we know, she is pretty much just a light damage dealer with no utility or support in her kit. She hits things, the end. For a quick damage breakdown right here, as you can see, decent damage. With Bart as your leader. We'll talk about more of that in a second. But, pretty high damage. Pretty good. But yeah, she's just a boring damage dealer. She does good damage for the light element. Not much more to say. There's nothing in her kit. I think she has a machine killer for the party. No, that's Bart. No, Bart has that, not her. Yeah, she's really got nothing in her kit. She's just a damage dealer. Hits hard, so that's good. But yeah, so if you went, the light element path, she'd be a good addition, I guess. There you go. Vision card is terrible. There it is. You're not going to use that, so there you go. And as far as Bart, he is being upgraded. Only the leader skill, though. Now, as far as the unit himself, he is not a Neo Plus. He is a regular Neovisions damage dealer. He does have Machine Killer for the party, but that's basically it for support. Nothing else, really. He's just a damage dealer. Light element as well. His vision card, once again, is pretty terrible. You're not going to use it, so who cares? But his leader skill is being upgraded. And this is a pretty big upgrade, so it's nice to see. For Xenogears and all light units, Clash or not, they are getting a 1100% leader skill, which is really good. That's very, very good. And in Clash of Wills for the same stuff, it's 1200. So again, pretty good. The other leader for light element would have been Yuna in the future. In JP, he was only for Xenogears. I think a small amount for light, but he was primarily a Xenogears leader, which is obviously a pretty useless category. Like, you can't lead an entire party of Xenogears. I guess you could. It wouldn't be a good idea, though. Anyway, yeah, this leader skill upgrade, very, very nice. And it can make, light element a little bit better. So pop over here. We'll look at some light calculation. Here's Bart down here. Only 13 or 1.3 because he is not a Neo Plus. Very, very sad here. So his personal damage is on the lower end, among the current meta, obviously. We've got people up here like Stern doing 2.0. He's doing 1.3. That's like almost half as much as like the other damage dealers. But there you go. But he is the leader. So if you want him to lead the party, that's got to be him. Now, the issue is he doesn't have the AoE light amplify like Yuna should have in the future. So that's a little bit of an issue. How are you going to solve that problem? I guess that's up to you. But there you go. There's the unit. And that is it for the events for the week. We've also got story update, the main story. This is not part of the real event. This is just a plain old story update. So that's nice. But like I said, the raid is missing. Graphs upgrades are missing. The crown stage is missing. All the unit upgrade stuff is missing. Will it come out later on, next week, the week after, etc.? Who knows? You can speculate in the comments, but it's a little weird to me that they're giving us a Xenogears, quote unquote, event, but there's no event. There's literally no event, none whatsoever. I can't believe they took the raid away. What is the point of that? But there you go. And that's kind of it for the week. I wish I had more to say. As far as, me not posting videos this weekend, I know I said I was going to post like another Clash of Wills video or two. The issue is a different game that I play got a content update on Friday, and all of a sudden my weekend was just gone. Like I played, and then all of a sudden, like, where'd the weekend go? Yeah, so that's what happened with me on videos this weekend. I played other stuff and got really, really into it. But anyway, yeah, so, we've got nothing going on this week, so I will find the time at some point to post more Clash of Wills stuff. I guess the only other thing interesting to talk about is the Clash of Wills Bracer. We talked about it before. I've talked about it briefly, how it made some units a lot better, like 2B, stuff like that. It turns out the Bracer also buffs up or extends modifiers, which means you can look up here in the damage calculations. True King Noctis is now one of the highest damage dealers thanks to that Clash of Wills Bracer. Because, yes, it also extends normal modifiers, not just LB modifiers. Meaning, people like Noctis can stack pretty much all his modifiers at the same time for crazy burst damage. Another unit that can do extremely high damage is Ultimate Regina. Ultimate Regina, you can give all 5 of the party the 1-turn modifier buff on Regina herself. Then Regina, wearing the Bracer, can on that turn Bracer herself to extend those 5 extra turns. That way you can then use your normal party to do like burst damage on the real turn, while Regina will still have all of those like sacrifice a turn modifiers will still be there. It's kind of hilarious, and the reason I didn't put Regina on the calculations, even though in the right party, Regina is about the same damage as like Celeste, etc. on this spreadsheet. But the problem with the Regina is you would need a lot of support to make her work. She needs an external amplify, an external weapon in peril, all that kind of stuff. So even though, also she's ice element, so even though Regina is more of like a spreadsheet warrior, she can go really high. But True King Noctis, on the other hand, he doesn't need anything from the party. He's like all self-sufficient. He's got his own amplify, his own weapon in peril. He doesn't need anyone externally to... I guess one person on like turn 2 would need to use their turn to give him the Bracer buff. So like the rotation would be, on turn 1, Noctis would use the base form LB. On turn 2, Noctis would use 5 of his modifiers, including the cooldown. And then on that same turn 2, someone else at the end of the turn would use the Bracer on Noctis. Now his LB modifier and all 5 of those 1-turn modifiers last until turn 7. Then on turn 3, Noctis would use his weapon in peril and his amplify. And on turn 4, you would use his maximum burst. Or do it on turn 5. You get the idea. But yeah, you can very easily set up Noctis to do a 7,000 modifier with only one other person in the party giving up a single turn to cast the Bracer on him, which is pretty cool, and I will very likely demonstrate that in a Clash of Wills clear this week. Maybe tomorrow, potentially, or maybe Wednesday. Tomorrow I'm going to be gone most of the day. But yeah. So that was kind of a sidetrack. I'm just realizing this is the Xenogears news. We spent half of it talking about Noctis and Clash of Wills Bracer. because there is no Xenogears news. It's literally 2 units and blank. The end. It's just a lot more cool to talk about the Clash of Wills stuff. So yeah, I will play. Oh, and people that ask, what were you playing this weekend? It's just a little indie game, Death Must Die. It's like a Vampire Survivors knockoff, but it's fun. I enjoy it, and it got a big content patch on Friday. Anyway, yeah, that's the news. Wish I had more for you. So I will play around with Noctis and the Clash of Wills bracer in Clash of Wills this week. And as far as Xenogears, if you already went down that rabbit hole of chasing the light element, you definitely want Bart, absolutely. Or I guess you could wait for Yuna, but Yuna's probably a ways off. Bart's here right now. And then Maria is incredibly bland, but she hits hard. That's all she does. But she hits hard. There you go. Anyway, there's the news. Wish I had more for you. See you in a bit.